I'm excited to share this message with you today. In this fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the daily grind and lose sight of our goals and dreams. We all have aspirations and desires, but sometimes we struggle to find the motivation and drive to achieve them. But fear not, because in today's message, I am going to share with you 5 ways to challenge yourself and achieve your goals easily. You see, my friends, you are not alone in this struggle. We all face challenges and obstacles in our lives that can make it difficult to stay on track and reach our goals. But the good news is, by listening to this message, you can turn things around and start making progress towards your dreams. I have spent decades studying and teaching the principles of success. And I have seen firsthand how these 5 strategies can transform lives and help people achieve their goals with ease. So get ready to take some notes and get ready to challenge yourself in new and exciting ways. Remember, my friends, you have the power to create the life you desire. And by implementing these 5 strategies, you can make it happen. So let's dive in and discover how you can challenge yourself and achieve your goals easily. Starting with number 5. Now, we all know that procrastination is the enemy of progress. It is the thief of time and the killer of dreams. We have all been guilty of procrastination at some point in our lives. We have all put off important tasks and projects, only to regret it later when we are faced with the consequences. But why do we procrastinate? Is it because we are lazy or lack motivation? No, my friends. Procrastination is often a result of fear and self-doubt. We fear failure, we fear rejection, and we doubt our abilities to succeed. And so, we delay taking action, we make excuses, and we convince ourselves that we will do it later. But let me tell you this, later never comes. Procrastination is a vicious cycle that keeps us stuck in the same place while time passes us by. And before we know it, another year has gone by and we are no closer to our goals than we were before. So, what is the solution? How can we break free from the grip of procrastination and move towards our goals? The answer, my friends, is to find a support system. Yes, you heard me right. A support system is the key to overcoming procrastination and achieving success. Now, you may be wondering, what exactly is a support system? Well, it is a group of people who believe in you, who motivate you, and who hold you accountable for your actions. Having a support system is crucial because it provides us with the encouragement and motivation we need to take action. When we have people who believe in us and our abilities, it gives us the confidence to push through our fears and doubts and take the necessary steps towards our goals. But who should be a part of your support system? It could be your family, your friends, your mentors, or even a coach. The important thing is that these are people who genuinely care about your success and are willing to support you in your journey. Now let me share with you 3 ways in which a support system can help you overcome procrastination and reach your goals. Firstly, a support system provides accountability. When we have someone to answer to, we are more likely to stay on track and follow through on our commitments. Your support system can hold you accountable for your actions and keep you focused on your goals. They can also provide you with constructive feedback and help you stay on the right path. Secondly, a support system offers motivation and encouragement. We all have days when we feel demotivated and want to give up. But when we have people who believe in us and our goals, they can give us the push we need to keep going. They can remind us of our why and help us stay committed to our goals. Lastly, a support system provides a sense of community. When we surround ourselves with like-minded individuals who are also striving towards their goals, it creates a sense of camaraderie. We can learn from each other, share our struggles and successes, and find inspiration in each other's journeys. Now you may be thinking, that all sounds great, Jim, but how do I find a support system? Well, my friends, it starts with being intentional. You need to actively seek out people who can be a part of your support system. It could be by joining a mastermind group, attending networking events, or even reaching out to people you admire and asking for their guidance. Remember, your support system does not have to be large. Quality is more important than quantity. It is better to have a few genuine and supportive individuals than a large group of people who do not truly care about your success. And let me tell you this, my friends, once you have found your support system, do not be afraid to lean on them when you need it. We all need help and support at times, and there is no shame in asking for it. Now to the fourth way to overcome procrastination and reach your goals, and that is to create a plan and stick to it. You see, we all have dreams and aspirations, but very few of us actually take the time to sit down and create a plan to achieve them. We get caught up in the daily grind, the routine of life, and we forget that our dreams require action. They require a plan. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking, but Jim, I don't have time to create a plan. I'm too busy with work, with family, with other responsibilities. And to that I say, nonsense. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, and it's up to us how we use them. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is how they utilize their time. So let me ask you this. How much time do you spend scrolling through social media, binge watching TV shows, or just mindlessly surfing the internet? And how much time do you spend on planning and working towards your goals? If your answer is not in favor of the latter, then it's time to make a change. Creating a plan is not just about setting goals and deadlines. It's about breaking down those big, intimidating goals into smaller, manageable tasks. It's about creating a roadmap that will guide you towards your dreams. And most importantly, it's about taking action. You see, a plan is useless without action. It's like having a map but not taking the journey. You may know where you want to go, but unless you take that first step, you will never reach your destination. Now, I know that creating a plan can be overwhelming. You may not know where to start or how to go about it. But let me share with you a simple yet effective method that I have used throughout my life, the 5 P's. The first P stands for purpose. You need to have a clear purpose for your goals. Why do you want to achieve them? What will it mean for you and your life? When you have a strong purpose, it will give you the motivation and drive to create a plan and stick to it. The second P is prioritize. You need to prioritize your goals and tasks. Not everything needs to be done at once. Identify what is most important and focus on that first. This will help you avoid feeling overwhelmed and allow you to make progress towards your goals. The third P is plan. This is where you break down your goals into smaller, actionable tasks. Write down what you need to do, when you need to do it, and how you will do it. This will give you a clear roadmap to follow and keep you on track. The fourth P is persistence. Creating a plan is not a one-time thing. You need to constantly review and adjust it as you go along. And most importantly, you need to be persistent in taking action towards your goals. Don't let setbacks or failures discourage you. Keep moving forward and never give up. And finally, the fifth P is patience. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will your goals be achieved overnight. It takes time and effort to reach your dreams. So be patient with yourself and trust the process. As long as you stick to your plan and keep taking action, you will eventually get there. Now, creating a plan is not enough. You need to stick to it. And this is where discipline comes in. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It's what separates the dreamers from the achievers. You need to have discipline in your daily habits and routines. Wake up early, exercise, read, and work on your goals. Don't let distractions or excuses get in the way. Remember, if you want something badly enough, you will find a way. If not, you will find an excuse. And when you feel like giving up, remind yourself of your purpose, your why. Remember why you started and keep pushing forward. And if you ever feel lost or off track, go back to your plan. It will guide you and keep you focused. Now to the third way to overcome procrastination and reach your goals. This may seem like a simple concept, but it is one that many struggle with. So, without further ado, let's dive into the topic of stepping out of your comfort zone. We all have a comfort zone, a place where we feel safe and secure. It's where we are familiar with our surroundings, where we know what to expect, and where we feel in control. But here's the thing, my friends. Growth and success do not happen within our comfort zone. They happen when we step out of it. Think about it. When was the last time you achieved something great while staying within your comfort zone? I bet it's hard to come up with an answer. That's because real growth and progress happen when we challenge ourselves, when we take risks, and when we step out of our comfort zone. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Jim, stepping out of my comfort zone is scary. What if I fail? What if I make a fool of myself? Trust me, I understand those fears. But let me ask you this. What's scarier? Taking a chance and potentially failing, or living a life of mediocrity, always wondering, what if? You see, my friends, the biggest regret of the dying is not the things they did, but the things they didn't do. The risks they didn't take, the opportunities they didn't seize, and the comfort zones they didn't step out of. Don't let that be you. Don't let fear hold you back from reaching your full potential. So how do we step out of our comfort zone? How do we overcome the fear and resistance that holds us back? Well, the first step is to identify what is keeping you in your comfort zone. Is it fear of failure? Fear of judgment? Or maybe it's just the fear of the unknown. Whatever it may be, acknowledge it, and then make a conscious decision to move past it. The second step is to start small. Stepping out of your comfort zone doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It can be as simple as trying a new hobby, taking a different route to work, or striking up a conversation with a stranger. These small steps will help build your confidence and make it easier to take bigger risks in the future. The third step is to surround yourself with people who inspire and challenge you. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you want to grow and succeed, you need to surround yourself with people who have similar goals and who will push you to be your best self. The fourth step is to embrace discomfort. Yes, stepping out of your comfort zone is uncomfortable, but that's where growth happens. Embrace the discomfort and remind yourself that it is temporary and necessary for your personal development. The fifth and final step is to have a growth mindset. Instead of seeing challenges and failures as setbacks, see them as opportunities to learn and grow. Remember, failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Embrace it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Now I want to share with you a personal story of how stepping out of my comfort zone changed my life. As many of you know, I started my career as a stock clerk in a small store. I was comfortable in my job, but I knew I wanted more. So I took a risk and applied for a sales position at the same company. I was terrified of rejection, but I pushed through the fear and got the job. From there, I continued to step out of my comfort zone, taking on new challenges and opportunities. And you know what happened? I became one of the top salespeople in the company, and eventually I left to start my own business. If I had stayed in my comfort zone, I would have never achieved the success and fulfillment that I have today. Now to number 2. It is none other than breaking down your goals into smaller tasks. Yes, you heard it right. The key to overcoming procrastination and reaching your goals is to break them down into smaller, manageable tasks. Now, you may be wondering, how can something so simple be the solution to such a complex problem? Well, let me explain. We all have big dreams and aspirations, and there is nothing wrong with that. In fact, it is essential to have big goals because they give us direction and motivation in life. However, the problem arises when we try to tackle these big goals all at once. we get overwhelmed and we end up procrastinating. We convince ourselves that we will start working on our goals tomorrow, next week, or next month. But the truth is, tomorrow never comes. And before we know it, years have passed, and we are still stuck in the same place with the same unfulfilled dreams. But what if I told you that by breaking down your goals into smaller tasks, you can overcome procrastination and start making progress towards your dreams? You see, when we break down our goals, we are essentially creating a roadmap for ourselves. We are dividing our big, overwhelming goals into smaller, achievable tasks that we can work on one at a time. Let me give you an example. Let's say your goal is to start a successful business. Now, that is a big goal, and it can be intimidating. But if you break it down into smaller tasks, such as researching your target market, creating a business plan, finding a suitable location, and so on, suddenly, your goal becomes more manageable. You can focus on one task at a time, and before you know it, you have made significant progress towards your ultimate goal. Breaking down your goals into smaller tasks also helps in overcoming the fear of failure. Many of us procrastinate because we are afraid of failing. We fear that we will not be able to achieve our big goals, and so we put off working on them. But when we break them down into smaller tasks, we are essentially creating mini goals for ourselves. And when we achieve these mini goals, we gain confidence and momentum, which drives us towards our ultimate goal. Another benefit of breaking down your goals is that it helps in time management. We all have busy lives, and it can be challenging to find the time to work on our goals. But when we have smaller tasks, it becomes easier to find pockets of time throughout the day to work on them. It could be as simple as spending 30 minutes every day researching your target market or working on your business plan. These small pockets of time may not seem like much, but they add up and help us make progress towards our goals. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Jim, breaking down our goals into smaller tasks sounds great, but how do we know which tasks to focus on? That is an excellent question, and the answer is simple: prioritize. When you have a big goal, it is essential to prioritize the tasks that will have the most significant impact. Ask yourself, which tasks will bring me closer to my goal? Which tasks are essential and which ones can wait? By prioritizing your tasks, you can focus on the most critical ones and make progress towards your goal. But breaking down your goals into smaller tasks is not enough. You also need to have a plan in place. You see, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So once you have broken down your goals, create a plan of action. Set deadlines for each task and hold yourself accountable. And remember, it is okay to adjust your plan as you go along. Life is unpredictable, and things may not always go according to plan. But as long as you have a plan in place, you can make adjustments and keep moving forward. Now, I want to address a common misconception about breaking down goals into smaller tasks. Some people believe that by doing so, they are settling for less. They feel that by breaking down their big goals, they are not aiming high enough. But let me tell you, that is not the case. By breaking down your goals, you are not settling for less. You are setting yourself up for success. You are creating a roadmap that will lead you to your ultimate goal, and that is something to be proud of. Now to number one. See, we have all been guilty of it at some point in our lives, and it is something that can hold us back from achieving our goals and dreams. But I am here to tell you that there is a way to overcome procrastination and reach your goals. And it all starts with setting specific and realistic goals. You see, the problem with procrastination is that it gives us a false sense of comfort. We tell ourselves that we will do it tomorrow, or next week, or next month. We make excuses and justify our inaction. But the truth is, procrastination is the thief of time and the enemy of success. It robs us of our potential and keeps us from living the life we truly desire. So how do we overcome procrastination? The answer is simple. We must set specific and realistic goals. You see, without a clear and defined goal, We are like a ship without a destination. We drift through life, going wherever the wind takes us. But when we have a specific goal in mind, we have a direction to follow. We have a purpose and a reason to take action. But it is not enough to just have a goal. It must also be realistic. Many of us set goals that are too lofty and unattainable. We want to lose 50 pounds in a month or make $1 million in a year. While these goals may seem exciting and inspiring, they are also unrealistic. And when we fail to achieve them, we become discouraged and give up. Instead, we must set realistic goals that are achievable and within our reach. This does not mean that we should not dream big, but we must also be practical. We must break down our big goals into smaller, more manageable ones. This not only makes them more realistic, but it also gives us a sense of progress and accomplishment as we reach each milestone. Now let me give you an example of how setting specific and realistic goals can change your life. Many years ago, I was a broke and struggling young man. I had no direction in life and no idea what I wanted to do. But one day, I attended a seminar where the speaker talked about the power of goal setting. He challenged us to write down our goals and make a plan to achieve them. So I did just that. I wrote down my goals and I made a plan to achieve them. And you know what? It worked. I started with small, achievable goals such as saving $100 a month and reading one book a week. And as I achieved these goals, I gained confidence and momentum. I set bigger goals such as starting my own business and becoming a millionaire. And I am proud to say that I achieved those goals too. But it all started with setting specific and realistic goals. And that is why I am so passionate about this topic. I have seen firsthand the power of goal setting and how it can transform your life. And I want the same for each and every one of you. Now you may be wondering, how do I set specific and realistic goals? Well, the first step is to get clear on what you want. Take some time to really think about your dreams and desires. What do you want to achieve in your personal and professional life? What do you want to have, do, and be? Write it all down and don't hold back. Remember, the sky's the limit. Next, break down your big goals into smaller, more manageable ones. For example, if your goal is to lose 50 pounds, start by setting a goal to lose 5 pounds in the next month. This is a more achievable and realistic goal, and it will give you a sense of progress and motivation to keep going. Then make a plan to achieve your goals. This is where the real work comes in. You must take action and be consistent. Create a daily or weekly action plan and stick to it. And when you face obstacles or setbacks, don't give up. Instead, adjust your plan and keep moving forward. Lastly, hold yourself accountable. Find an accountability partner or join a mastermind group. Share your goals with others and ask them to hold you accountable. This will not only keep you on track, but it will also give you a sense of support and encouragement. In closing, I want to leave you with this quote by Zig Ziglar. If you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. So don't let procrastination hold you back any longer. Set specific and realistic goals and take action towards achieving them. Remember, you have the power to create the life. Today I want to talk to you about a topic that I believe is holding many of you back from reaching your goals and dreams. It's something that I have seen time and time again in my years of experience, and that, my friends, is perfectionism is stopping you from taking action. See, perfectionism is a mindset that tells us that everything we do must be flawless and without any mistakes. It's the belief that anything less than perfect is not good enough. Now, on the surface, this may seem like a positive trait to have. After all, who doesn't want to do things perfectly? But the truth is, perfectionism is a dangerous trap that can prevent us from taking action and living our best lives. You see, perfectionism is rooted in fear. It's the fear of failure, the fear of making mistakes, and the fear of not being good enough. And when we let this fear control us, we become paralyzed. We become so focused on getting everything perfect that we forget to take action. We get stuck in the planning stage, constantly trying to make everything just right before we even begin. And as a result, we never actually get anything done. Perfectionism also leads to procrastination. We tell ourselves that we can't start a project until we have all the pieces in place. We need the perfect idea, the perfect plan, the perfect timing. But the truth is, there is no such thing as perfect. And while we wait for perfection, time passes us by. We miss opportunities, we miss out on experiences, and we miss out on reaching our full potential. Another danger of perfectionism is that it sets unrealistic expectations for ourselves. We create this image of what our lives should be like, and when reality doesn't match up, we feel like failures. We beat ourselves up for not being perfect, for not achieving the impossible standards we have set for ourselves. And this constant self-criticism can lead to low self-esteem and a lack of confidence. But here's the thing, my friends. Perfectionism is an illusion. It's an unattainable goal that we chase, and it will always leave us feeling unsatisfied and inadequate. The truth is, there is no such thing as perfect. And even if there was, it would be boring. Our imperfections are what make us unique and interesting. They are what make us human. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't strive for excellence and do our best in everything we do, but there is a big difference between striving for excellence and striving for perfection. Excellence is about doing our best and continuously improving. It's about progress, not perfection. Perfection, on the other hand, is about being flawless, and that is simply not achievable. So what can we do to overcome perfectionism and start taking action towards our goals and dreams? The first step is to recognize that perfectionism is a problem. It's important to acknowledge that our fear of failure and our need for perfection is holding us back. Once we are aware of this, we can start to change our mindset. The next step is to let go of our need for control. Perfectionism is often rooted in our desire to have everything go exactly as planned. But the truth is, life is unpredictable, and things rarely go as planned. We need to learn to let go of our need for control and embrace the unknown. It's in the unknown that we can find new opportunities and experiences that we never would have imagined. Another way to overcome perfectionism is to focus on progress, not perfection. Instead of striving for perfection, strive for progress. Celebrate your small wins and improvements along the way. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about making progress towards your goals. And finally, learn to embrace your imperfections. Our imperfections are what make us unique and beautiful. They are what make us human. Instead of trying to hide them or fix them, embrace them. Embrace your quirks, your flaws, and your mistakes. They are all a part of who you are, and they should be celebrated. We live in a society that constantly bombards us with messages of perfection. We are told to have the perfect body, the perfect job, the perfect family, the perfect life. We are bombarded with images of flawless celebrities and influencers on social media, making us believe that perfection is attainable. But let me tell you, my friends, perfection is a myth. The truth is, there is no such thing as perfection. It is an illusion that we have created in our minds. We have set impossible standards for ourselves, and we are constantly chasing this unattainable idea of perfection. And in this pursuit, we often forget to appreciate and celebrate our imperfections. But here's the thing. Our imperfections are what make us unique and beautiful. They are what make us human. Think about it. Would you rather live in a world where everyone is the same? Or would you rather live in a world where everyone is different, with their own flaws and imperfections? I believe the latter is what makes life interesting and worth living. Perfection is an unattainable goal, and constantly striving for it will only lead to disappointment and frustration. It will hold you back from reaching your full potential and living a fulfilling life. As the saying goes, perfection is the enemy of progress. When we focus on being perfect, we are afraid to take risks and try new things because we are afraid of failure. But let me tell you, my friends, failure is not the opposite of perfection. It is a stepping stone towards it. In fact, some of the most successful people in the world have failed multiple times before achieving their goals. Take Thomas Edison, for example. He failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb, but he didn't see those failures as setbacks. He saw them as opportunities to learn and improve. He understood that perfection is not a destination, it is a journey. We need to shift our mindset from striving for perfection to striving for progress. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for growth and improvement. Embrace your imperfections and use them as a driving force to become a better version of yourself. As long as you are making progress, you are on the right track. Now, I want to address a common misconception about perfection, that it is necessary for success. We often believe that in order to be successful, we need to be perfect. But let me tell you, success has nothing to do with perfection. Success is about setting goals, taking action, and continuously improving. It is about being persistent and resilient in the face of challenges. In fact, I would argue that our imperfections are what make us successful. They teach us valuable lessons and help us grow. They also make us relatable and approachable to others. People are drawn to authenticity, not perfection. So, embrace your imperfections and use them to your advantage. Now, I want to address a group of people who are especially affected by the myth of perfection, the young generation. With the rise of social media, young people are bombarded with images of perfection every day. They are constantly comparing themselves to others and feeling inadequate. But let me tell you, my young friends, you are perfect just the way you are. You don't need to conform to society's unrealistic standards of perfection. You are unique and special in your own way. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Instead of striving for perfection, focus on developing your skills and talents. Work on becoming the best version of yourself, not someone else's version of perfection. On the other hand, progress is real. It is tangible. It is something that we can see and feel. And most importantly, it is something that we can control. We may not be able to achieve perfection, but we can make progress every single day. Let me share with you a personal story. When I first started my journey towards personal development, I was obsessed with perfection. I wanted to be the perfect speaker, the perfect mentor, the perfect role model. But the more I chased perfection, the more frustrated I became. I would spend hours rehearsing my speeches, trying to make every word and gesture perfect. And yet, when I stood on that stage, I could never live up to my own expectations. It wasn't until I let go of my obsession with perfection and focused on making progress that I truly started to grow and improve. I stopped trying to be perfect and instead focused on becoming better with each passing day. And you know what? My speeches became more authentic, my mentoring became more impactful, and my role as a leader became more fulfilling. The same principle applies to all aspects of our lives. Whether it is our relationships, our careers, or our personal goals, progress is what truly matters. It is the small steps that we take each day that lead us towards our ultimate destination. Think about it. If we only focus on perfection, we will never be satisfied. There will always be something that we can improve upon, but if we focus on progress, we can celebrate our achievements and see how far we have come. Now, I'm not saying that we should settle for mediocrity. Far from it. We should always strive to be the best versions of ourselves. But we must also understand that progress is not a straight line. It is filled with ups and downs, twists and turns. And that is okay. In fact, that is what makes the journey towards our goals so exciting and fulfilling. Progress is also about embracing our imperfections. We all have flaws and weaknesses, and that is what makes us human. Instead of trying to hide or fix our imperfections, we should embrace them and use them as opportunities for growth. As the great writer and philosopher Confucius once said, "The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones." But let me tell you, my friends, fear of failure is not something that is unique to you or me. It is something that every single one of us has experienced at some point in our lives. The fear of not being good enough, the fear of making mistakes, the fear of disappointing others, the fear of falling short of our own expectations, these are all forms of the fear of failure. But here's the thing. Fear of failure is not something to be ashamed of. It is a natural human emotion that is designed to protect us from harm. But the problem arises when we let this fear consume us and dictate our actions, when we let it hold us back from taking risks, from trying new things, from pursuing our dreams. That's when it becomes a problem. So how do we overcome this fear of failure? How do we break free from its grip and unleash our full potential? Well, I have some good news for you. It is possible. And today, I am going to share with you some practical steps that you can take to conquer your fear of failure and start living a life of purpose and fulfillment. The first step towards overcoming fear of failure is to understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Let me say that again. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Think about it. Every successful person you admire has failed at some point in their journey. But what sets them apart is that they didn't let their failures define them. They didn't let it stop them from moving forward. Instead, they used their failures as stepping stones towards their ultimate goal. So, my friends, I want you to reframe your mindset when it comes to failure. Instead of seeing it as something to be feared, see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Embrace your failures and use them as a tool to become better, stronger, and wiser. The second step towards overcoming fear of failure is to identify the root cause of your fear. Is it a fear of judgment? Is it a fear of not being good enough? Is it a fear of losing everything you have worked for? Whatever it may be, it is important to identify the root cause so that you can address it head on. One way to do this is to visualize the worst-case scenario. What is the absolute worst thing that could happen if you fail? And then ask yourself, can you handle it? Most of the time, the answer is yes. And that realization alone can help alleviate some of your fears. The third step is to take action. As the saying goes, action cures fear. The longer we sit and dwell on our fears, the bigger they become. But when we take action, we are taking control of our fears and proving to ourselves that we are capable of overcoming them. So, my friends, I urge you to take that first step, no matter how small it may seem. Whether it's signing up for that class you've been wanting to take, starting that business you've been dreaming of, or having that difficult conversation with a loved one, take action. And I promise you, the more you do it, the easier it will become. The fourth step towards overcoming fear of failure is to surround yourself with the right people. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you want to overcome your fear of failure, surround yourself with people who have already done it. People who have faced their fears and come out on the other side stronger and more successful. Find a mentor who can guide you, a support system who can cheer you on, and a community who can hold you accountable. Having the right people in your corner can make all the difference when it comes to overcoming fear of failure. And finally, my friends, the last step towards conquering your fear of failure is to have faith in yourself. Believe in your abilities, your strengths, and your resilience. Believe that you are capable of achieving great things, and that even if you do fail, you have what it takes to bounce back and try again. Remember, failure is not the end. It is just a detour on the road to success. And the only way to truly fail is to give up. So have faith in yourself and keep moving forward, no matter how many times you may stumble and fall. Think about it. Every successful person you admire has imperfections. They have made mistakes, faced failures, and experienced setbacks. But what sets them apart is their ability to embrace those imperfections and use them as stepping stones to success. They didn't let their flaws hold them back. Instead, they used them as fuel to propel themselves forward. One of my favorite quotes is by the great Winston Churchill, who said, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." This quote perfectly encapsulates the essence of embracing imperfection. Success is not a destination, it is a journey. And along that journey, we will face failures and setbacks. But it is our courage to continue, to learn from our mistakes, and to keep moving forward that will ultimately lead us to success. I want you to think about the most successful person you know. Now think about their imperfections. Can you even name one? That's because their imperfections do not define them. It is their determination, resilience, and perseverance that have brought them to where they are today. So why do we fear imperfection? Why do we let it hold us back from reaching our full potential? It is because we have been conditioned to believe that it is something to be ashamed of. We have been taught to hide our flaws and present a perfect image to the world. But let me tell you, my friends, imperfection is not something to be ashamed of. It is something to be celebrated. Our imperfections make us unique. They make us human. They give us character and depth. And most importantly, they give us the opportunity to grow and improve. Without imperfection, there would be no room for growth. We would become stagnant and complacent. I often say that the only way to truly fail is to not learn from our mistakes. When we embrace imperfection, we give ourselves the freedom to make mistakes and learn from them. We no longer fear failure. Instead, we see it as a necessary step toward success. But embracing imperfection is not just about our own personal growth. It is also about how we view and treat others. When we let go of our own need for perfection, we can also let go of our judgment towards others. We can see them as imperfect beings, just like us, and accept them for who they are. This creates a more compassionate and understanding world, where we can all support and uplift each other. So how can we start embracing imperfection in our own lives? The first step is to let go of the need for perfection. Stop comparing yourself to others and focus on your own journey. Embrace your flaws and see them as opportunities for growth. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. We are often our own harshest critics, but we must learn to be our own biggest cheerleaders. Another important aspect of embracing imperfection is to surround ourselves with people who accept us for who we are. We are greatly influenced by the people we spend the most time with. So it is essential to surround ourselves with positive and supportive individuals who embrace imperfection themselves. In closing, my friends, I want to leave you with this thought. Imperfection is not a weakness. It is a strength. It is what makes us human and what gives us the opportunity to grow and succeed. So let us embrace our imperfections, celebrate them, and use them to our advantage. As we continue on our journey of personal development, let us remember that perfection is not the goal, but rather it is the courage to embrace imperfection that will lead us to true success.